Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the Denver Bronco Roundup. This is going to be a post-game show. We are brought to you by Rocky Mountain Sports Network and, of course, sponsored by Morgan Trinkets. It's a heartbreaking loss. I'm hopefully not going to be completely here on my own. I know I'm not completely here on my own. You know why? Because we even got the stepfather coming in, joining us this evening. Welcome to the show, Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick. How are you, sir?
I'm doing okay, Keith. It's been a long day. Me as for those who don't know, Giant fans struggled as well today. We lost our kicker first play of the game, and it just seems like our teams are cursed, my friend.
Hey man, I'm telling you,
It really does.
it's not the way I wanted to come in here. It's kind of the way that I predicted it, being a low-scoring Denver Broncos loss. Ernie Mays joining the show, coming in as well, saying, Trevor, curse our team. Go Broncos country only. Yeah, Ernie, I don't know if it was a curse by Trevor or really just the play that we saw on the field. Roy's coming in and says, I have my 2 cents, and it's not good. Well, Roy, I don't think you're going to be the only one because, honestly, what I saw out there offensively, there's zero threat from this team. There is zero threat. I dare you to say who you're scared of as the Denver Broncos and the next opponent. Who are you scared of on this Denver Broncos offense? If you only score 6 points and their field goals, that tells you just about everything you need to know. You did that at home on your home opener. That's what you got. I know that you're a guy with disappointment running through your veins as well, Kenny, but you got to see this game. Roy's going to give us 2 cents. Why don't you give me your 2 cents as well?
Yeah, I mean, Keith, like we said it. Everybody was down on Vance Joseph. He's going to be the scapegoat. We're going to fire Vance Joseph if things are bad. The defense is playing good. I'm not going to say great. They're playing good. The defense gave up 13 points today. They got 2 safeties in week 1. And this is the offense you're putting out there. Now, let me ask you a question. I know he's not on the team this year, but could Jerry Jeudy, wasn't he drafted to be that big play threat guy? And Sean Payton, do you think he just gave up on him, or was it just complete, disaster in Denver? And he, I just think he didn't connect with Russell Wilson. You should have given him a chance with Bo Nix. But the problem I have going on the offensive side is Troy Franklin. Where is this guy? They were teammates in college. If they're gonna have growing pains, let them have growing pains together on the field. If there's somebody who knows Troy Franklin, it's Bo Nix. Let him be the guy that can make some plays. I mean, this is getting ridiculous now, the offense you're seeing out there. And I've watched the game today. It was bad. And, I'm not going to blame a rookie quarterback second week. I'm going to blame the head coach. I'm not blaming Bo Nix on this loss. The head coach is getting the blame.
Fine. Yeah, I think there's plenty of blame to go around. To your point on Jerry Jeudy is the one who came to the organization last year, said, I wanted out. Okay. Sean Payton said, no, I want you to stick around. Got through that season, still wanted out, found his opportunity in Cleveland. The problem that I have is that, I don't know if this offense is capable of stretching vertically down the field and completing those passes, because we haven't seen that really as of yet.
Right.
Maybe, if we had a guy with a rocket of an arm, or maybe if we just had the Rocket Man himself. Welcome in, Rocket Man. How's it going, buddy?
Oh, it's another frustrating Sunday. Seems like this is starting to kind of be a trend in Broncos country. I know I've seen Ernie Mays comment in there, said I cursed the Broncos. Actually, I gave the Broncos more credit than maybe they actually deserved. I had it 21-10, and they scored a total of 6 points. So I think I was trying to do my best to be positive for this team. But right now, Keith, honestly, this is tough. This stuff to watch. This offense, I mean, holy crap. I mean, they're just bad. I mean, the defense, I thought today stepped up, and I thought they gave this team a chance. And I think special teams, looks fine, looks good, actually. But this offense, I mean, you have a guy you're paying $18 million to, and this offense looks this bad. It looks like Pat Shurmur offense once again. And it's just like, man, I mean, I'm trying to be positive about this team, but, man, right now it just looks bad. And Bo Nix looks a little shaky out there. I don't think Sean Payton's, helping him out too much. It's just too many passing plays out there as well. I mean, I'll go to the attempts really quick. 35 passing attempts and 19 rushing attempts. I know the running game hasn't been great, but come on. I mean, you got to give this kid a chance. Right now, you're just kind of hanging him out there on an island to dry, in my opinion.
I'm going to completely disagree. Because I don't think that this team was off balance until this game was needed to go start throwing down the field. Most of those attempts came when we were needed in comparison to the runs. At one point we're like 15 passes versus 12 runs, but at some point you're also down by 2 possessions, 3 possessions. I mean, we scored a field goal, we're still down 2 possessions and we ain't got time. At that point, you have to start throwing the ball. It's not the time to get, we're going to just start running the ball and hope we get back into this game. It's not going to happen. But I'm going to get to some of the comments here real quick because I have to. I have to, guys. We got a quick show. I'll get back to you. I promise, Trevor.
Yeah.
But Phil's in here kind of agreeing, saying, evening, Keith and Kenny, terrible. Positive for the D, playing well in the second half. Too many drop passes, though. Mark Calderio, good friend of the K&K Sports Show, and Kenny Kirkpatrick coming in saying, horrible defense didn't come to play for the Giants. Good friend Jeremy Dressler coming in saying, sup, fellas, go Broncos. When healthy, Dulcich can't catch. That's what we found out today for a majority of his possessions, I guess you could say. Roy saying the whole team's crap. We got Beto Garcia coming in and saying, hi guys, new subscriber here. Well, we appreciate you very much, Beto.
The salute. We'll give him a salute.
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't we mile high salute a little bit? Michael Ronquillo coming in and saying good evening to us all. But Beto has a question. Do you think Sean Payton is calling a really conservative game plan? I just got done listening to Trevor. I think I know where the answer is going to go that way. I'll go to Kenny. Kenny, what are your thoughts on this Broncos game plan? Is it conservative when it comes to the offense?
I think it is conservative, and I think it has to do with Bo Nix, a rookie quarterback. I want to see more of that Wildcat formation. I mean, how exciting was that one play? I mean, it wasn't the best of passes because if he hit him in stride, it would have been a touchdown, but it was still a nice play call. It was complete, but I want to see more of that creativeness. That's what Sean Payton was brought in to be, not to call bubble screens and short 3-yard outs when you're down 10 points. That's not what I brought you in for. I brought you in for your creativeness, and I'll give him credit on that Wildcat play because that was creative. But other than that, Beto, I think it is a really conservative game plan.
Martin's coming in here. He's saying Denver might be the least talented offense in the league, and they played maybe the best defense. I was encouraged with the improvement from last week. Knicks looked better composed again, in my opinion. It looked better composed in my opinion. Do you think that I'll serve this over to Trevor? Did you feel more composure? Did you see any progression from week 1 to week 2? I know it's quick reaction. We haven't looked at tape. But what do you think of Martin's opinion here?
No, I mean, again, we talk about Sean Payton's creativeness. Why does it take him till after halftime to actually, third quarter to start being creative with the offense? Still, it doesn't make any sense to me. Didn't work in Seattle, and it didn't work for most of the first half, and takes you this long to make those game plan adjustments. I'm surprised he did it at all. No, I mean, again, it's just I don't see much improvement. I mean, Bo Nix had 2 interceptions on the day, could have had more. I don't think Sean Payton's putting him in the best possible position to be successful. I can see with my eyes the architect of this offense is Sean Payton. If the running game's not working, who is that on? It's on the architect of the offense. That is Sean Payton. So regardless, passing game, running game, if it's not working, it still goes back to Sean Payton regardless. And that's personnel. That is in the game plan. That is anything. This is on Sean Payton. You cannot have Bo Nix pass for 30-plus yards or 30-plus passing attempts and expect this offense to be great. I mean, if the running game's not working, okay, then it's the scheme. Why has the Steelers been able to run the football? Is it personnel? Is it scheme? But again, if something's not working, it's time to shake things up a little bit. So the scheme, maybe that's part of it too. And maybe it's a mixture of both, but something's not working where this offense can't run the football. And they have to start getting there, start running it effectively. Bo Nix can't be passing for 30-plus times a game. I expect this team and Bo Nix to be successful.
Again, he didn't start passing the ball. I'm just going to say this one more time. He didn't start passing the ball all over the place until it was necessary. until it was necessary.
Why is it? Why is
until
it?
Bo Nix can get a 12-yard pass off, then guess what? You don't expect that running game to have any type of efficiency. So what Sean Payton needs to do at this point is basically fix Bo Nix, because I haven't seen, you can count on one hand. You can count on one hand across 2 games where there's been good passes beyond 12 yards. And that's just going to key up that defense on your running game.
So the Bo Nix
you're
wasn't
not
ready.
scared.
See, it wasn't ready.
Okay. Then that's your personnel decision. I'll let Kenny weigh in.
I would love to say
continue
something
to
about
battle it
Sean
out.
Payton. I would love to say something about Sean Payton.
Go right ahead.
Can we stop giving this guy the benefit of the doubt?
Yeah.
If this was Nathaniel Hackett, everybody in Denver Bronco Nation be calling for his job. But because it's Sean Payton and we're in bed with Sean Payton, Payton's got his guy. I'm tired of hearing that. Clock management. You didn't score any points. You got 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter and you're kicking a field goal down 13-0. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And then what happened? They got a second field goal and they had no time for Bo Nix to try and get a game-winning drive because there was no time left. And why aren't you kicking an onside kick? I don't care if you got a 1% chance of getting an onside kick. Why are you not trying it? So I'm tired of hearing the Sean Payton, give him a pass. It's Sean Payton. He's here for 2 more years. No, if this continues, you need to get rid of him now. Penner's got enough money to get rid of him. They $80 million with Russell Wilson. They ain't going to care about eating $18 million with Sean Payton. Get him out of here if he's going to continue. And that's coming from an outside perspective and the stepfather. Get him out.
Get him out, says the stepfather. I'm not going to be a lone man on the totem pole, I guess, on this one. But Beto wants to know. He's saying it's his last question. He kind of talks about, how Peyton's supposed to be the guru, and maybe Carson Beck is right around the corner for the Denver Broncos. But what he really wants to know is, when does that hot seat start getting hot? I'm going to turn it over to Trevor, man. When do you think Sean Payton's seat starts getting a little bit warmer than it has been in the last, ever?
Well, I think it's starting to heat up a little bit. Definitely. I mean, you ate $85 million to get rid of Russell Wilson. It doesn't seem like Russell Wilson was the only problem you had on this team. So again, I think that I'm not on the fire Sean Payton now train right now. I can't get that on that right now, but I do think it's time to start holding him accountable to what's happening with this offense. Your defense played good enough in 2 weeks now in a row where you could have won. And now this offense is the problem. And what you had to give up for Sean Payton to even get him in the building, it's unacceptable for how bad this offense is getting right now. I know you have a rookie quarterback that's in place, but I don't think Sean Payton's doing Bo Nix any favors right now with this offense and how he's calling things. And again, if it's the running game, the running game has been a problem for over a year now. So, I mean, it's not just, these running game problems just didn't start now. It's been a problem since Sean Payton has arrived in Denver, other than a few games here and there. But yeah, I mean, again, I think it starts now. I think it's his seat's starting to get a little warmer. I don't see the Penners moving off of him unless this season just starts getting out of control. And then you have players fighting with each other, like how it was with Hackett, or this offense just being so brutal that you can't put up with another year. I don't see the Penners moving off from Sean Payton after the end of this year. I think you got to give him at least one more year. But I'm still very, critical on Sean Payton, and he needs to start being held accountable because Russell Wilson's not in the building anymore.
All right. A lot of agreement. Roy came in, said, yes, I agree, Kenny. Amen, buddy. Get him out of here. Michael Ronquillo saying Vance Joseph and Sean Payton can't make adjustments in the second half. Our good friend Kurt Valente went on a rant, and he would pretty much cover up, maybe up to my beard, if I put it up on the screen. But he is saying that Payton was atrocious. And one thing, I'll just read this off. He says, enough of this draft and develop, second and third rate guys. We need a number one receiver, a number one running back, and a number one tight end when they are available. Go get them. That kind of alludes to my point. This offensive line didn't play good. The receivers are dropping balls, or Bo Nix can't get them the ball to them. We don't have a running back that seems like they're anywhere nearly as aggressive of what we saw right across the line of scrimmage in a Najee Harris. I mean, this team is handcuffed, yes, by the $85 million in moving on from Russell Wilson, but that's not just showing up in a quarterback to quarterback situation. That's a quarterback to the entire roster. Again, we're eating $53 million. That's $5-10 million guys. Go out and get 5 $10 million guys and add them to this offense, a $10 million tight end, a $20 million wide receiver, add in another $10 million running back. All of a sudden, we're at $40 million, and this team looks a lot better. I think we can't jump on this. Peyton needs to go. Peyton's on the hot seat. You got to remember what he's working with and the direction that this team wanted to go. It was move on from Russell Wilson, invest in a young quarterback in Bo Nix. If anything, I'll fault Sean Payton for not developing Bo Nix so far into a quarterback that can develop, I don't know, just work within this offense and actually be efficient, and get completions, and part of that are the receivers, but part of that is Bo Nix as well. He's not looking all that great. That's where I have fault in Sean Payton.
Real quick, if I can interject
Yes, sir.
for 20 seconds to respond to you. I want to make it clear why I think Sean Payton's seat needs to be hot. Not because of the team, because of his decisions. If Nathaniel Hackett chose not to kick an onside kick there, Bronco Nation would be calling for him to be fired. That's how it would be. But because it's Sean Payton, nobody's saying that. I just feel this guy's getting the benefit of the doubt every week. His clock management was terrible. You don't kick a field goal there. That's a rookie head coach or Nathaniel Hackett. Everybody's telling in the media tomorrow he needs to be fired. Why are you not going for it there and giving Bo Nix a chance? We're not going to score 3 more times in 7 minutes. It's not going to happen. So that's why his seat needs to be hot, not because of the direction the team's taken. Okay, that another coach I want to, if Peyton keeps making these clock management mistakes, game mistakes, that's when his seat needs to be hot, and it's hot right now for me. Not saying he's fired yet, but it's getting hot in my opinion.
No, I don't even think it's getting lukewarm in my opinion. I look at the situation, and don't get me wrong, it could certainly end up warming up. But, again, I think we need to take a few things into context. It's not every rookie quarterback that goes out there and does fantastic. And it's not like this team, again, just based upon the contract that we had to move on from, is in the primo position. This isn't Caleb Williams going into Chicago with all the weapons around him that you went out and bought. If you want to be disappointed in someone, go look at someone like, the Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams. That's more understandable in my opinion. But again, I think this team, it's going to be a brutal year. When I did my predictions and I had my worst case scenario, 4-13, that was because we lost our first 2 games. Well, that's starting to come to fruition. Now, 4-13 at the end of the year, is Sean Payton on the hot seat? Absolutely. Absolutely, he's on the hot seat by the time that comes around. But hopefully, we're not talking about that. Hopefully, this team starts to turn around. A lot of heat for Greg Dulcich from Michael Ronquillo saying he needs to go. He also didn't like little Jordan Humphreys, which, quite honestly, was probably the best target that it seemed like we had out there for Bo Nix. But he wants him to be continuously down on the practice squad and bring out Donald Parham. Of course, that would be the replacement for Greg Dulcich as well. So, guys, do we have the pieces and parts? There was another comment here earlier about this O-line and how we need to be accountable to how much we paid for this O-line. Do we have the pieces and parts? What would you do, Trevor, since you said, hey, what we're doing right now isn't working? Give me 1 or 2 things that you would do moving forward before we start wrapping up and getting out of here a little bit.
Yeah. Also, I kind of want to point out the Broncos aren't just eating Russell Wilson's dead cap; they're eating multiple dead caps, and that's including Justin Simmons. So that's $76 million that this team is eating in dead cap this year alone. In total dead cap. So I kind of want to point that out. So for me, I just think there's running lanes for me. There. I just don't think Sean Payton's sticking to that. I think that as soon as there's a big run, then Sean Payton goes against that, and we're starting to throw the ball with Bo Nix again. And I just want to see the creativity in this early on in the game. Why are we waiting until the second half, well into the third quarter, before you're making adjustments to your offense? And we're starting to see Bo Nix kind of throw the deep ball. Well, where is this earlier in the game? That's what I don't understand. And I'm glad he made adjustments, but it's just like I think you're just too late. And now you're seeing this team kind of having to come back behind and try to win against a very tough defense in like the Pittsburgh Steelers and Seattle. That's a pretty good defense as well. So I just think that trying to commit to the run a little bit more And that's not just the only problem. Again, there's a mixed bag of different problems, but I just don't feel like Bo Nix has a ton of confidence right now. I don't think he's seeing the field well right now. We can't just continue to expect him to continue to pass time and time again and putting him in tough and a difficult situation. So I just think there needs to be some sort of adjustment. Maybe it's the scheme to running the football, but I just think that I think this team's more talented than what they're showing. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And I'm not saying that this is a playoff team, but this offense just doesn't look very good right now at all. I mean, I think there's more talent right there. Javonte Williams was a second round, draft pick a couple years ago. I think that you got to get something out of him. And it's just the scheme to me just doesn't seem like it's there from Sean Payton. I don't think it's just players. I think it's the scheme. And I think Sean Payton needs to go back to the drawing board and make adjustments earlier to try to get this offense going earlier and see what he needs to change up, because right now this ain't working right now, this conservative offense right now.
I wouldn't go as far as conservative, but I would say this. I would like to see Javonte get a 7-yard run, which he did in this game, 6-7-yard run, followed by Javonte doing almost the exact same play, flip it to the other side. I just, sometimes we used to talk about all the time back in the day about, sometimes you need to feed these running backs in order to get them going. But instead we go from Javonte getting 5 yards, let's say, to a pass that may get incomplete or 2 yards, to then McLaughlin's coming in because he's a third down back. And then we have to wait for Javonte to come back around on the next possession. So he's getting 1 or 2 possessions each time, especially as we're going 3 and out way too many times. So Jordan points out, though, Javonte had 17 yards on 11 carries. Again, I was more afraid of the guy on the other side of the line of scrimmage than I was on this side of the line of scrimmage. But I really feel like that offensive line has a lot to blame in that. They're not opening up. They're not pushing downfield. There's just not the openings that you see in a lot of other offenses. And I think that proves itself out when you see a lot of different running backs come into our system and still continue to fail.
I was going to say,
that's my point.
I was going to say really quick. So again, if the offensive line's an issue, then who is that on? Again, it's Sean Payton, because it's personnel. It's something he wanted to bring in when he was here. So if they're not getting the job done up front, then that's where the blame lies if you can't get the running game going. So no matter what we talk about, the different points, it still leads back to Sean Payton. He's the architect of this offense. He has control of the personnel that he brings into this team. So there it goes. I mean, and then Marvin Mims not getting involved near much as we want him to. So it's just,
thank you.
Again, no matter what, it's just, it goes back to Sean Payton. That's why I keep pounding that table, regardless of the point we make here. It's, the dead cap, but where's this team? Who put this team in the dead cap situation? I know you moved off from Russell Wilson, that this offense don't look that much better right now, and the Justin Simmons dead cap hit and all that. That's Sean Payton kind of move.
I'd also say that could be racked up to a George Payton and a Nathaniel Hackett as well, because it's not like, again, we didn't have Russell Wilson come in here and light us up today. Right now, it's all Justin Fields, and Russell Wilson might never get a start in Pittsburgh if Justin Fields keeps rolling like this. Kenny, I don't know, man. This is a reaction show. We have everything from fire Sean Payton and hire Clint Kubiak, from Dan Wickett. Dan is right on board with what Trevor is saying with that 70% play calling on the passing side rather than the run game versus 30% almost 2 weeks in a row. So he's not happy. We need to get we need to get some stuff together before we head out to Tampa Bay, and that's what we'll be talking about next. I can't believe that's where we're heading now, but I want to get your thoughts, Kenny. Give us some positivity. Give us some thoughts, maybe coming out of this game or not. Tell us where you think we're at, and if there's any positivity or hope to be there at all.
Positivity is your defense 2 weeks in a row played very well enough that you could have come out with victories. You have a rookie quarterback. I said, both of you said, go with Stidham. I said a couple weeks ago, you're going up against 4 of the top defensive minds in football in the first 4 weeks. Yep. Any quarterback, that's going to be hard. You put Aaron Rodgers in there, put Mahomes in there, they're going to struggle. You got Bo Nix going in there against Seattle in the 12th man. Pittsburgh, Mike Tomlin, top 10 defense every week. Todd Bowles, who shut Mahomes down in the Super Bowl, and Robert Salah, who got the job with that 49ers defense. He comes over to the Jets. That's your first 4 games with the rookie quarterback. Let Stidham go in there through that gauntlet and then bring Bo in against the Chargers and Raiders, and maybe you have, the kid with confidence, and then you never look back with Bo Nix. Now this kid's struggling against these tough defenses. Another one next week, and Todd Bowles is going to come after Bo Nix.
Yep.
I mean, they look really good, the Buccaneers. So let's hope Sean can maybe, I want to see a little Jaleel McLaughlin. I'm missing Samaje Perine, guys, because you would have seen Samaje Perine at least in there blocking and then pushing off the block and getting those little dump offs from the quarterback. And one of those dump offs could turn into a 15, 20-yard gain. You're not seeing that. You're not seeing that with him not there. So maybe next week you see a little more Jaleel McLaughlin. Maybe Williams, maybe eventually loses his job if they can't get the running game going. So that would be my positives. Dulcich, get him more involved. If he's going to drop balls, is Krull hurt, or is he just
inactive?
Maybe it's time to get him up and see what he can do, maybe. But Troy Franklin, too. These guys were teammates in college. They're both on an NFL team for a reason. Troy Franklin's not on an NFL team because he stunk in college. These two had chemistry in college. Get him on the field, see what he can do. That would be a positive. You have nothing to lose right now. These two were teammates in college. Let them see what they can do on the field together.
Scares me when we're already saying, giving out quotes like "There's nothing to lose."
It's sad. After 2 weeks, we're both both looking towards next year already. What can we do next year to be better?
No, I don't think we're in next year yet, because I think you put out a great point. Even Martin said Atlanta, who is a more talented team, only had 10 points against the Steelers defense last week. Better days and weaker defenses are ahead for the Broncos. Might take a while, but they're coming. Trevor, some final thoughts as we get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's hard to be positive with the offensive side of the ball, but defensively, I thought this team played pretty well. They didn't play the greatest game in the world. Yeah, I understand that, but I think Jonathan Cooper, I think he's a player on this defense, a guy that you can look forward maybe in the future as a guy that can get a contract extension. That Zach Allen has some pressure on Justin Fields a little bit, and hard to get to Justin Fields because he's so athletic. But the defense, it was definitely some concerns there, but they looked like they at least put together a full game and not just a one half. So that's promising going forward. But man, if this offense continues to go 3 and out, is it going to matter? Because the defense is going to be worn out eventually. Special teams, I thought, played pretty well again today. I thought they did again last week. So that's something to hang your hat on. There's not a ton again right now, positive wise to kind of look into on the offense side of the ball, but the other side of the ball, defense and special teams, seem like they're this team's brighter spots, which is concerning because your offense just can't be this bad if you're going to win games in the NFL. Back to the drawing board, I think, for this team, and it's unfortunate, of course, because you like to see strides. I think the biggest thing for me is I'm not on the fire Sean Payton train right now, but I want to see strides with this offense, week after week. I know we're only in week 2, but it just doesn't seem like we're seeing strides with this offense. It seems like they're going backwards and right now. So it's one of those things where you want to see growth, and I think that's the biggest thing this year: growth. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but this team is definitely not building. I think they're more in a retool than anything, just kind of based upon where they're at, contract wise and with the cap. With some of these guys on the roster. So I think something to take away going forward, positive wise, would be there's still a long season and a lot of different things can change. And, we shall see what kind of adjustments Sean Payton makes, because he needs to be making them.
Yeah. Little shout out, because I haven't seen this name before. Chris coming in here and saying the O-line was horrible. No time for Knicks to read the field. All that money for that type of play. Michael's pointing out the fact that, the Ravens lost to the Raiders. And so the Ravens are 0-2. That also doesn't necessarily get me all that excited about having to play the Raiders twice this year, as well, as they just took down the Baltimore Ravens. So, wow. it's going to be tough to find some positives when it comes to the offensive side of the ball. But this defense, I think, regardless of what maybe some differing opinions in the comments, anytime that you hold any NFL team to 13 points, one touchdown, couple field goals, that allows you to be in the game. And though it didn't ever feel like we were really in that game, 2 touchdowns is a great place to be able to put up 2 touchdowns, put up 2 extra points, and walk away with a win. That's what was necessary today. That's all that was necessary today. The Broncos couldn't pull that out offensively. I'm right there with you, Trevor. I need to start seeing some progression, some steps, some
Progress.
hopefully a little bit different, just a little bit different look to this offense, because I think you're right in that we're starting to see a lot of the same things. Not so many of the bubble screens this week, which was kind of nice. Not all the passes were out to the edges and behind the line of scrimmage, but at the same time, we didn't see much that was really pushing down the field. We need to find ways to develop that, to get that open and allow Bo Nix to start to see the field, give him some time and push it down the field so we can open up this offense, maybe get a running game going as well. Shout out to special teams. Like you said, I think they did fantastic today, whether it was knocking through a couple of field goals or, pinning opponents right at the 1 yard line again on a punt. I think they did quite well. So it'll be really interesting to break down this tape, to get into it all, and see the ins and outs. And like you said, hopefully start to see the progression as well. Pearl's coming in late. Unfortunately, Pearl showed me her fantastic onion rings, and they did not pan out for us today. They were winners last year, so hopefully at least you enjoyed the onion rings, Pearl. I hope you did. And Biggie Bronco, thank you for coming in here as well. That being said, lots of new faces as well, but Ernie Mays and Roy that came in here starting us off. Michael Ronquillo, Beto, thank you so much for jumping in here. Martin, it's always good to see you. Mark Calderio, I know that's a great friend of, like I said, the K&K Sports Show. And speaking of which, we had Kurt Valente in there blowing up the comments. Mark Lawrence was in there as well. Who else did we have? Chris, like I said, it was nice to see you. Phil McLaughlin, thank you so much. Phil dropped stars when he came in here and was talking with us as well. Phil, we appreciate you always. But
couple new faces, Beto and not a new face, but Martin. I'm not sure if you said Martin's name.
Yeah, I said Martin. Beto was a new face. Chris was a new face. But hey, we enjoy every single. Who's that?
Jordan
was in there. I missed Jordan. Thank you, man. You guys are chiming in, making sure I don't miss one. I also dropped the link to our fantastic sponsor, Morgan Trinkets. Check out Morgan Trinkets for all your Southwest jewelry, Southwest pottery, and estate gold. Head on over there. They have amazing pieces. I'll wrap it up really quick right there. But I'm telling you, if that's up your alley, you're missing out. 33 years experience in the business. They know what they're doing. They got the goods over there at Morgan Trinkets. So that being said, anything final before we get out of here? I'll go one more last time.
No,
Kenny?
Just keep your head high, Bronco fans. You only gave up 13 points today, so more times than other. You're going to come away with a victory if you give up 13 points. I mean, my prediction was 16-13 Broncos. I was close. Just got to put a 1 in front of that 6. So we'll get it. You guys will get it. I think you guys will be, get through these next 2 games. The Jets aren't, taking the world by storm. So, maybe you get a shock and you split the next 2 games and come out 1-3 after the first 4.
Well, that would be beautiful. Michael's pointing out, and I'm sorry, Michael, I didn't mean to miss your stars, but he dropped some stars as well. So Phil and Michael, much love to both of you. Beto's coming in saying great show. I appreciate that very much. And Dan's just saying that he's thinking Jonah Ellis is looking like a playmaker. Trevor, final thoughts.
Yeah, so I just want to point out the defense again. Pittsburgh was 4 of 13 on third down efficiency. So talk about the defense stepping up and really giving the Broncos a chance to win. I think it's time to kind of give praise to defense a little bit. Kind of seems like VJ in the past has been kind of thrown underneath the bus a little bit as far as how maybe he needs to be fired or whatnot. I actually think the defense has been playing pretty well and giving this team a chance to win in back-to-back weeks. So hopefully that continues. But yeah, I mean, final thoughts, just want to see this offense improve. I know I've kind of calling Sean Payton out a little bit, and I have for a little while now, but I just want what's best for this Denver Broncos team, and hopefully Sean Payton can figure it out. I mean, I know this is a new team, new quarterback, long season to go. I wouldn't panic quite yet. I know it's hard not to panic, but I wouldn't panic quite yet. It's still a long season. I think there'll be strides eventually. I don't know when that will be, of course, because it's a tough schedule going forward. But I think that there'll be strides at some point in the season, and I think that hopefully we can look forward and see the positive steps with this football team and learn from the mistakes. That's the biggest thing with Bo Nix. Hope he goes in there and watches film, coming in tonight or tomorrow and whenever in the near future, and learns from his mistakes and continues to grow. And Sean Payton continues to grow. This team just continues to grow. Again, different team, so remain positive. I know it's hard to do so, but I think brighter days hopefully are ahead for this Denver Broncos football team, and you just stick with them.
Big E Broncos just trying to remind us before we get out of here, kind of like last comment. He says, I'm not even mad about the interception because I know it's a rookie quarterback and I know he was going to struggle against Steelers and Pittsburgh. Kind of just, again, identifying the fact that we have a tough run when it comes to some of these defenses in the first 4 weeks. It's one of the reasons some of us were thinking Jarrett Stidham should take these hard knock losses and then let Bo Nix come in with a little bit of more time and take over the helm. But that wasn't the plan. It was Bo Nix from the very beginning. He's going to learn through experience, and might be just a little bit tougher from week to week. But that being said, thank you all so much. Appreciate you joining us on these post-game shows. This is the Denver Bronco Roundup. We go live every Tuesday, every Friday, 7:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, in addition to these post-game shows that we go live right after the game. Those other shows will go over about an hour. We try to keep this to 30 minutes. You guys were so active. We went 37. But that being said, we do need to get out of here. Enjoy your weekend, what's left of it. We'll see you all on Tuesday after we break down some film. That being said, we're going to get out of here with keep your feet in the stirrups, keep your guns in the holsters, and of course, keep the Denver Broncos in your hearts, everyone. Good night.